welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name's Stephen Van Eiderstein, and thank you for joining me again today on February 17th to do the daily reading of James Allen's Daily Meditations. So it's been a great sequence the last couple of days, and I just really have been reflecting on the emphasis that he's been placing on thoroughness of spiritual principles and spiritual living in all aspects of life, and most importantly, the small, minor details. And it's been something that's a great reminder for myself, and say re-experiencing of these things, because my experience has been that I'll learn something and I have to revisit multiple times before it becomes ingrained in me that deeply. And this is so it's always a good reminder to go back through these things. But so this will be new, fresh to me, fresh to you, which means you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. And we will go from there. So here we go for February 17th of James Allen's Daily Meditations. Truth, in its very nature, is ineffable and can only be lived. Truth is the one reality in the universe, the inward harmony, the perfect justice, the eternal love. Nothing can be added to it, nor taken from it. It does not depend upon any man, but all men depend upon it. You cannot perceive the beauty of truth while you are looking out from the eyes of self. If you are vain, you will color everything with your own vanities. If lustful, your heart and mind will be clouded with the smoke and flames of passion, and everything will appear distorted through them. If proud and opinionative, you will see nothing in the whole universe except the magnitude and importance of your own opinions. The humble truth lover has learned to distinguish between opinion and truth. He who has most of charity has most of truth. Wow. I really enjoy the meditations where he talks about like what truth is, or what the perception of truth looks like, and how we distort it, and how we make it our own, right? And I'm going to look up a word really quickly, if y'all don't mind. Ineffable. Ineffable. Too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words. So it opens up with this line of truth in its very nature is ineffable and can only be lived. It can't be described or spoken. You can only live in truth. And honestly, that's kind of a freeing statement, because I find myself trying to really describe these things. And sometimes I come up with, I fall down. I have a lack of words to describe it. I could talk about spiritual principles and spiritual values and disciplines and all of these things. But truth is something to be experienced. And it takes living through that spiritual way of life to find truth. So truth in its very nature is ineffable and can only be lived. It's your actions that line you up with the path of truth. And truth is demonstrated through your actions when you get there, and you continue to stay there. He goes on to say, truth is the one reality in the universe, the inward harmony, the perfect justice, the eternal love. That's an important thing to understand. I think a lot of people, including myself, we get caught up in our own perception of things. We get caught up in our own preferences of how we want things to go, in our own biased understandings. But when we break this down and we honestly look at things and we take ourselves and all of us out of reality, and we see what reality actually is. There is only one reality. A lot of people get caught in, this is my truth, this is my experience, and not that those aren't valid. But there is only one reality of truth. Truth is the one reality in the universe. The inward harmony, the perfect justice, the eternal love. It kind of, when you start to get into the flow of life, you're not fighting the flow of life. You walk willingly with it and trust it. It's kind of like the Tao in religions and spiritual practices. And it's just what you do. Inward harmony, perfect justice, and eternal love. All of that is allowing it to be. Nothing can be added to it nor taken away from it. Truth stands freely, independently on its own. It needs nothing, and you can take nothing. You can't change it. You can't break it. You can't manipulate it. The truth is the honest truth. And when I come across things that resonate on that level, for myself and the experiences I've had, it's been quite eye-opening to realize that it's like a sense of alignment also, almost, when you're taking actions and you're living in such a way that life almost seems effortless and the decisions don't seem complicated, which blows my mind. I don't stay there often. I'm human, and I'm practicing this, and my ego gets in the way, my pride gets in the way, my insecurities, my fears, I get in my own way all the time. But I do have, and I know they're there. That's what almost is a motivator to keep doing this work and keep checking these things out and investigating, is because I've been in that position where you know the exact next step to take. Not because of all of this knowledge you've gained, but because you just are walking on that path of truth. I know it might sound hokey, but when you experience it, when you live this way of life and you practice it long enough and you are serious about it and you do the things that he's talking about in these meditations and in his books, you end up having those moments or those time periods that I'm referring to, and they are impactful. They're so impactful. He goes on to say, you cannot perceive the beauty of truth while you are looking out from the eyes of self. If you are vain, you will color everything with your own vanities. If lustful, your heart and mind will be clouded with smoke and the flames of passion, and everything will appear distorted through them. This is what I was talking about with getting you out of the way. Your own shortcomings, perceptions, experiences, expectations. When you get everything that has to do with you off of your current experience. When you learn you can do that, when you learn you can strip away the things that get between you and truth, and you can look at it, it's a whole different thing. But you can't get the honest experience of truth while you're doing that, while you're in that self-serving light. We have to change to be of service to God and others, good and others, source and others, truth and others. We step outside ourselves, and when we can do that, we can fully experience what truth is. He goes on for another example. If proud and opinionative, you will see nothing in the whole universe except the magnitude and importance of your own opinions. Does that not sound like where we are today with many things? Where we value ourselves and our opinions so highly that shapes everything. Everything's offensive. Everything is affects me and triggers me, and everything is got to be put in the context of me. There's so many people screaming from the mountaintops of their experience and believe it's the most important thing that needs to be listened to. And not that it is not important. Not that your experience is not relevant. Not that your experience is not hold value. But listen to this. If proud and opinionative, you will see nothing in the whole universe except the magnitude and importance of your own opinions. All you see is you and your preferences and your opinions as you go through this world. And I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that. That is, at least in the States where I am, that's the culture we're sitting in the middle of. Unfortunately. Everybody not everybody. I don't want to paint this huge brush, right? Because that's not true. But many people are seeing the world through this specific lens. And this next description is beautiful. The humble truth lover has learned to distinguish between opinion and truth. The humble truth lover has learned to distinguish between opinion and truth. What's actually going on, what the actual honest truth of a situation is, and then on the other hand, all of those other things I've mentioned. Preferences, fears, experiences, expectations, opinions, all of these things. Perceptions. I don't know if I said that one right now, but when you could peel those off and you just see things as they are, you act from that place. Instead, it's an amazing thing. Act from a place of love and truth is incredibly powerful and invigorating and encouraging and empowering. It encourages you to keep doing it that way because the alignment you can feel, the cadence and the rhythm and the flow of life that you can get into when you can do that is harmony and perfection almost. Like it's such a beautiful thing. And the last line, he who has most of charity has most of truth. He who gives selflessly has most of truth. He who gives of himself freely, right, has most of truth. Because we're getting out of our own ways. We're getting out of our own perceptions. Getting out of our own selfish ends. And we are giving. That is one of the most probably powerful ways to free up and be able to start to access that truth. And that's been my experience. So, yeah, it's a beautiful reading today. Absolutely thoroughly enjoyed that. Ran it a little long today, but I appreciate y'all jumping on with me and listening to the podcast. Go ahead and give our Facebook page a like and a follow, and we'll continue to post the James Allen content and any other events that are going to be upcoming. I'm starting to lay out some framework for some other things besides just the daily readings, and I'm looking forward to that. So thank you, everyone, for the support, and until next time, thanks.